Look, this is what I said. I said the U.S. attacked Iran's nuclear facilities while using a denuclearization negotiation as cover for Israel to implement a first strike because Israel lied about Iran having WMDs against our own intelligence community's assessment, all while talking about Iran's disinterest in diplomacy. And now you are watching every single one of these motherfucking MAGA.
President Trump.
Of course he's doing it English. Oh, of course. Netanyahu thanks Trump after the Iran attacks. Of course, dude. Here's Trump's daddy. Let's hear what daddy has to say. Let's see what the real daddy has to say, okay? Let's see what the big dog has to say. Of course, he's delivering a English response, you know, for one man and one man only, really, when you think about it. This is not for the Americans listening. This is not for... this is certainly not for Israeli side, even though like 75% of Israelis speak English. This is for one man. This is for one man and one man only. That man is Donald Trump. Let's hear what he had to say.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed.
I asked my hog brother. He said leaked intel showed Iran was 2 weeks from a nuke. U.S. and Israel already knew. He was against action 3 days ago. Now it makes sense. His wife has military ties. Here's inside chatter. Says China gave Iran weapons hoping they'd use them on us. Yet also doesn't want them to have nukes. Thoughts? No thoughts. I actually... am going to, once I end the broadcast later tonight, bludgeon my head against the wall so I can be just as fucking moronic as your dumb hog relative so that I can live a life of happiness and constantly have no thoughts up here and only just go by whatever the Trump is saying. Oh my God, it would be fantastic for my media career. Perhaps I could be just like Asmongold. I'll just go, yeah, based, this guy, yeah, chat, war with Iran, based.
It has done what no other country on earth could do.
Man.
History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Fucking... President Trump is going to be speaking in 8 minutes, and we'll hear what he has to say. Here's what Michael Penis said. U.S. House Speaker Mike Penis, the president made the right call and did what he needed to do. Leaders in Congress were aware of the urgency of the situation, and the commander-in-chief evaluated the imminent danger outweighed the time it would take for Congress to act. The world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, which chants death to America. Oh, my God. Still talking about death to America. I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Brother, of course they say death to America. We've been fucking them over for the past 50 fucking years. Why wouldn't they say death to America? They, way before they said death to America, they tried to say, hey, we like America. Can you please help us? And then we did things over there that made them turn around and say, actually, never mind, death to America. This is really up. Yeah, of course they're going to say death to America. Look at Iran. Look at the situation they're in. Look at the situation they're in right now. Look at the past 70 fucking years of intervention in the region. This is what I always tell chatters as well when they talk about this, okay? I say, you hate Iran, or our leadership hates Iran, and they haven't even done anything. Iran has done nothing to any American, really. At most, you can point to like proxy forces or some shit. Whereas we have done a ton of awful violence and instability to Iran. The hostage crisis. Yeah, I know. I wonder how that happened. How did that happen? Again, why would anybody like us? Why would anybody in the region like us? The Iran's regime is not to be defended. I don't give a about the Islamic Republic, you dumb You are so goddamn stupid if you think that this is a defense of the non-secular or fundamentalist governance of the Islamic Republic. In Georgia, the Republican administration forced a woman who had become a vegetable to carry a pregnancy to term. They literally cut her body and cut the fetus out of her body because the body was rotting. Do you think that this gives a righteous cause for Iran to nuke Georgia? No, I don't. Do you? People do awful, nonsensical things to their own citizens all the time. This is not a good reason. This is not a good reason to bomb the country and destabilize it further. Half of the reason why these countries don't have the woke civil struggles that we have gone through, and then there's still a shit ton of issues here in America, is because we're constantly placing them in a state of panic. They're too worried about being exploded to actually go out and march on the streets and be like, hey, we want gay rights. It's the biggest lie that Americans have told. It's insane. It's like conservatives hate brown people that are conservative, and they don't give a about all the progressive brown people that die in the process. They hate brown conservatives for their conservatism. Look in a goddamn mirror.
Thank you very much.
What?
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise.
What
Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat
also
posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror.
To the Piker Broadcasting Service.
Tonight I can report to the world
which is
that
ad-free.
The strikes were a spectacular
and you can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime
success.
by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch
Iran's
account.
key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally
The Piker Broadcasting
obliterated.
Service is exclusively funded
Iran,
by you, the
bully
viewers,
of the Middle
for you,
East,
the viewers.
must now make peace.
Thank you.
If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far.
Is that good? Did I do good?
And perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
God bless Israel.
Thank you.
First of all, the idea that there's no other military that's capable of doing this is a fucking abject lie. The only difference is we get to do it because we are the dominant power on the planet. It's not a matter of capability. It's a matter of, one, restraint, and it's a matter of, obviously, mutually assured destruction and retaliation that would happen. Like flexing that you could strike Iran is ridiculous. Yeah, of course you can strike Iran. What do you mean? But so can Russia, so can China. And they can do that to us as well, as a matter of fact. The reason why they don't do that is because, one, China is always trade maxing and nutting at the prospect of more trade opportunities that can unfold potentially. And Russia's got their hands too busy with Ukraine. Yeah, this is the primary takeaway. Trump says if peace doesn't come quickly, that the U.S. will go after other Iranian targets. Stop this fear-mongering crap. This was much needed. Guy living in a trailer park in Terre Haute, Indiana, fantasizing about how much better the world is because America spent the healthcare money that you will never get on a massive bombing campaign on the other side of the planet. You and others like you are exactly the reason why we will never have rebellion in this country. We will never have a revolution in this country. And you will forever exist in a world of anger and resentment and will never understand why you are fucked over all the time and why your living standards never get better. Biden sent $300 billion to Ukraine and more money to Israel. And do you think I like Biden? What is wrong with you? It's not partisan. American foreign policy is uniparty. These people that you think you're on board with, this team that you think is actually doing right by you, is doing the exact same shit that Biden did, but you hate when Biden does it, but you love it when Trump does it. It makes no fucking sense. Neither of these teams give a fuck about you. Wake up. That's my point. Why are you lying and saying all these falsehoods? You're so dishonest. Endless deaths. Continue with your rhetoric, my dude. Trump just went and struck 3 nuclear facilities, violating numerous international human rights and protocols set in place, including the non-proliferation, the nuclear proliferation treaty. And my assessment of those events are what's causing the deaths. A Twitch streamer. Do you hear yourself? I know when you wrote that with your tongue sticking out of the side of your mouth, you were like, I'm about to get him with this. It's a fucking real banger. But the only thing you've done is basically expose how unimaginably stupid you are. My dude, good job. Open the schools. Open what schools? We're going to open the schools. The schools also suck dick because, sorry, all the money's going to Israel and all the money's going so we can bomb Iran. Slasher says, as we enter the next major world war that will take tens of thousands of lives, I just want to say that I now feel much safer from anti-Semitism, the biggest fear of my life. Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, also remember, literally half the country also is now going, oh, why did he thank Israel? Are we doing this shit for the Jews? Which is, of course, certainly not going to explode anti-Semitism in this country either. The great anti-Semitism destroyer, Donald Trump, and running around being like Shalom Mahmoud and like arresting people for saying Israel should stop killing children. He's making it real safe. A God bless Israel in a POTUS address to the nation. The difference here, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard was not invited. I know. That was reported on earlier. Tulsi Gabbard has not been invited to any of the Situation Room meetings in the last couple of days, I'm pretty sure. Oh God, he's wearing the fucking lame ass Ronald McDonald ass hat, dude. Oh my God. It's not the point. I know. But God damn, like, we are the fucking lamest goddamn country on the planet, dude. What the You know what hurts about seeing images like this? It's not just that he did this, okay? That's really fucking lame on its own. You're such a loser. I know. I'm going to get to you in a second. Hold on. That you're actually the point I'm trying to make. It's not that he did this in lame ass bullshit. It's that there are people that you and I exist in the same space as that look at that and go, hell yeah, he looks so fucking cool. That makes me want to perish, knowing that I am occupying a space with people that are that stupid that look at this image and go, yeah, that's strong. He's so strong. The very same people that don't understand that all of these actions are consequential for them. All of these actions are actually taking away from the resources that could help them have an easier go at life, fix the potholes, create a robust healthcare infrastructure, fix the goddamn ISPs so we have better broadband internet, free college so they can be educated a little bit better, maybe not constantly feel fear all the goddamn time. They'll never understand it. It's so cooked. It's so lost. AIPAC, who funds many Dems, glazes Trump's decision. Of course, AIPAC, Trump's principled decision to dismantle the Iranian nuclear program with strikes on Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan is profoundly in America's interest. I'm losing my mind. You voted for this? Wait, I did? You think I voted for Donald Trump? What are you, stupid? Yeah, I'm a huge Trump supporter. By the way, vote for any party. You're voting for this, for the record. You're voting for AIPAC either way, big dog. So technically, you're not wrong. Honestly, whichever way you vote in our duopoly, you are still voting for exactly this. It's just whichever flavor of this you want. Inside of you are two wolves. Okay, within the American duopoly, there are two wolves. Both of them want to nuke Iran. Let's hear from the top Democrat. What did he say 2 weeks ago? Does anyone have the video? Passing the Bolton blunt? Yeah. No, nuking Iran, like blowing up Iran or blowing up another like Muslim country in the region is the American foreign policy version of just one more lane. Just one more lane, bro. Please, bro. Things are going to be so different this time, bro. I swear no traffic congestion, bro. I promise, bro. Please believe me. One more fucking lane. Do not do any sort of public transit. One more fucking lane on the highway and we got it. Just one more. And this is the same principle for American foreign policy. One more regime change. I promise things are going to be so fucking good. I promise things will be different this time. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be fun. You're going to have fun while doing it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Everything is highway. Everything's computer. Everything's regime change. I'm losing my fucking mind. Let's take a look at what Chuck Schumer, the brave opposition leader of the Trump regime, had to say when a couple of weeks ago, Trump was talking about potentially doing a side negotiation with Iran in the denuclearization agreement.
When it comes to negotiating with the terrorist government of Iran, Trump's all over the lot. One day he sounds tough, the next day he's backing off. And now, all of a sudden, we find out that Witkoff and Rubio are negotiating a secret side deal with Iran. What kind of bull is this? They're going to sound tough in public and then have a side deal that lets Iran get away with everything? That's outrageous.
Get away with what? Everything. Like what? Have sovereignty? Like, what do you mean?
We need to make that side deal public. Any side deal should be before Congress and, most importantly, the American people. If Taco Trump is already folding, the American public should know about it. No side deals.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, good to know. Oh, Osita had a great take I saw on the toilet when I was peeing. Donald Trump is an extremely stupid man with very few real policy preferences who has simply done what mainstream conservatives wanted 80 to 90% of the time since he entered politics. They have wanted to bomb Iran. He bombed Iran. Pretty straightforward. The main problem with Donald Trump is that he's a Republican, except Democrats also want to bomb Iran. Anyway, here is notable answer not included in the 60 Minutes broadcast last night was in overtime. Asked which foreign country she considers to be U.S.'s greatest adversary. Here's what Harris says.
Be our greatest adversary.
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles, what we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power.
Why couldn't we girl boss our way to this one, dude? Are you chatters happy? Are you guys happy? We could have been doing the exact same thing, but with a black Asian woman in charge instead. The outcome would be the same, but think about how woke we would be in the process.
That is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
Remember this? Oh, this was when I checked out completely from the process.
We must also be steadfast in advancing our security and values abroad. As Vice President, I have confronted threats to our security, negotiated with foreign leaders, strengthened our alliances, and engaged with our brave troops overseas. As Commander-in-Chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. And I will fulfill our sacred obligation to care.
Someone in the chat said, "Who's this?" Good one. Now, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I'm not saying this to be like, "I told you so." The reason why I try to hammer on this point is so that you stay sharp and recognize when your politicians that are not serving your best interest lie to you, or sometimes even don't do the decent thing and lie to you. Remember that. This is why I say foreign policy is uniparty and something must change. And if we want to if we do care about the issues and we don't just operate off of team sport perspectives, like that one dumb Republican who was like, "Oh, Biden gave $300 billion to Ukraine. He gave $70 quadrillion to Ukraine, brother." When they're talking about that shit, they are playing the role of a partisan hack for a party that doesn't care about them. But you should be smarter. You should be better than this. We should demand change from our politicians that are responsive to our needs. You should care about the policies, not the party that doesn't even have the dignity to tell you that they care about these things, to tell you that there needs to be an alternative outcome here.